After abducting the Maduro couple, the United States has clearly treated Venezuela like a puppet state. According to the latest reports from multiple media outlets, U.S. officials recently shouted at China from afar, claiming that although Trump is allowing China to continue buying Venezuelan oil, it must be through fair transactions and can no longer purchase it at low prices as during the Maduro era. In other words, if China wants to keep buying Venezuelan oil, it must pay much more. It is reported that the U.S. side believes that the price at which Venezuela previously sold oil to repay its debts to China was too low, amounting to a fire sale of Venezuela's resources. Thanks to Trump's decisive law enforcement, the Venezuelan people are blessed. The United States will help Venezuela sell oil at a reasonable price. It is learned that the United States recently announced that it will control Venezuela's oil exports indefinitely. In response, Venezuela's interim president, Rodriguez, did not refute, and it is highly likely that he has already reached a deal with the U.S. side, trading the country's oil lifeline for the right to remain in power. Trump claimed that Venezuela has handed over $3 billion worth of oil to the United States and will share more profits with the U.S. in the future. Under such circumstances, he decided to cancel further plans for military action against Venezuela and refused to let opposition leader Machado, who was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, take office. Having stabilized the situation in Venezuela and successfully seized control of the country's oil exports, the U.S. side has also completely reversed its previous moderate attitude toward China, showing its true colors. It is demanding that China pay much higher prices to purchase Venezuelan oil. According to recent U.S. statements, the price of Venezuelan oil has risen from $31 per barrel to $45 per barrel. If China were to buy Venezuelan crude at this price, its costs would rise sharply. It is reported that during Maduro's administration, due to the U.S. blockade, Venezuela's oil industry was hit hard. Oil production dropped significantly, and most of it was sold to Chinese enterprises. It can be said that without Chinese purchases, Venezuela's economy would have fallen into a desperate situation. In fact, the United States' calculations to raise prices arbitrarily are clearly aimed at the wrong target and represent a serious miscalculation of China's energy landscape. According to Reuters and multiple authoritative energy agencies, in recent years, China has been committed to diversifying its energy sources, purchasing large volumes of crude oil from Saudi Arabia, Russia, Iraq, and other countries. As for Venezuela, although it possesses the world's largest proven oil reserves, its impact on China is minimal. China's previous purchases of Venezuelan oil were based on long-term economic and trade cooperation agreements, and also because its prices offered certain market competitiveness suitable for the needs of some domestic refineries processing heavy oil. However, business is niche. Once the U.S. side forcibly intervenes and attempts to push prices to unreasonably high market levels, China is fully capable of walking away from the table. The international crude oil market is not a seller's monopoly. As the world's largest buyer, China holds significant bargaining power. If Venezuelan oil loses its price advantage, Chinese enterprises can completely stop purchases at any time and instead turn to Middle Eastern oil-producing countries or increase imports from Russia to fill the gap. More ironically, the United States believes that by controlling Venezuela's oil, it can choke China's energy lifeline, yet it fails to realize this will only backfire. If the United States insists on a high-price strategy, that causes China to halt imports. The ultimate loser will be Venezuela's oil industry, which is in urgent need of cash flow. At that point, large stockpiles of low-quality heavy oil will face the dilemma of being unwanted. Venezuela is already fragile. The economy will completely collapse, and the United States will ultimately have to clean up the mess.